Welcome to SB Nation's coverage of the 2013 NCAA tournament. With us is Jay Bilas, ESPN commentator, author, lawyer, man of many titles. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Great to be with you.
It's been a wide-open year of college basketball. We've seen a lot of unpredictable results, and we'll get more unpredictable results as we go into the tournament. As we try to identify Cinderella teams, are there any teams that stick out to you as like a 12 seed upsetting a 5? That seems to happen every year.
You're talking about teams that can score and guard in the post. You've got to have big guys, I think, to pull upsets like that, and especially if you're going to get to a Sweet 16. So if you've got a team like Bucknell is the type of team that could do that. I think they're an 11 seed. They're playing a 6 seed in Butler. One of the teams, and this is a 4 seed, it's away from your question, St. Louis is a team that's Final Four good because of the way they play. They've got a bunch of men on their team that take care of the ball. They know how to play. They guard you. So if they run into a team like Louisville, which is in their bracket as a 1 seed, that's the nightmare scenario for Louisville because St. Louis plays the type of style that can stymie a team that presses because they don't turn the ball over and they don't feed a pressing team what they need, which is turnovers. Are
there any, maybe like a 7 seed, a 6 seed that could surprise teams beyond the Sweet 16, like maybe sneak into the Elite 8, maybe an Illinois or something like that?
Yeah, Illinois is a 7 seed, and they're a team that plays a lot like a mid-major because they've got guys that spread the floor. They shoot a ton of threes. Another team is Iowa State that does that. Iowa State's a team that lives on that three-point line, so they spread the floor. They involve big guys in screen and roll situations. Fred Hoiberg played for a million years in the NBA and is an NBA guy, so he brought a lot of those actions with him to college, and they've got Corey Lucius who played at Michigan State, so he's a Final Four point guard. He has played in the Final Four. They're a team that I think can beat people once they get to the first round.
One of the most dominant conferences and one of the most competitive conferences this year was the Big Ten. In fact, every single region has a 4 seed or higher from with a team from the Big Ten. Would an all Big Ten Final Four be possible, and does it spell doom for basketball as we know it if that happens?
No. I mean, is it possible? I suppose so. You know, we had in 1985, 3 Big East teams made it to the Final Four. That was the year that Villanova won the national championship by beating Georgetown, both out of the same league. And St. John's was also in that Final Four. So it has happened before where you had that, and it didn't spell the end of the game as we know it. I don't think you're going to see that. I just think it's too difficult to navigate, for everybody to navigate the tournament successfully. I think the Big Ten has been the best conference, but it's not head and shoulders above everybody. It's got more of the best teams, but that doesn't mean that the top teams are so, you know, out of this world good and nobody else can compete.
So we don't have to turn our mountains into corn. That's great news. Now you went to Duke. I called you a Duke guy, but you're not. Tell me, do you have a bias towards Duke? How do you think they're going to do in the tournament?
Do I have a bias toward Duke? No. I don't care who wins these games. The only thing I root for as a broadcaster is I'd like to see close games and compelling games. I think fans root for that too. But, you know, I went to Duke. I played for Coach K. I coached under him. But, you know, they're on their own. Duke is a really good team. They had an injury this year that really affected the course of their season. Ryan Kelly, who was one of their 3 best players, broke his foot, and then he just came back. His first game back, he had 36 points. But they're really good, and they've got a legit chance to win it. They're in the toughest region, though. I think being in the Midwest didn't do any of those teams any favors.
The region of death.
It is the region of doom.
Now, let me ask you, you filled out your bracket. Who's your Final Four?
I've got Indiana. Ohio.
I should be writing this down.
Yeah, it's all right. You can remember it. I've got Indiana, Ohio State. I've got Louisville, the #1 overall seed out of the Midwest. And then I've got VCU. I don't think VCU is one of the best, you know, sort of the 4 or 5 best teams. But I think they've got a path that makes their style of play really effective. Now, they can lose in the first or second round. That's possible. Everybody can lose.
Yes.
There are very few teams, I think. There are probably about a dozen that can win the whole thing. There are a number of teams that can win a game, quite a few that can win 2. Once you get past that, then all of a sudden you start shrinking. Remember, last year we said it's wide open. Remember that?
Yes.
Everybody said it's wide open last year. You know how many teams outside of the BCS conferences made it to the Sweet 16?
Tell me.
Ohio. That was the only one. So, you know, this idea that there's parity, the numbers don't bear that out. It feels like it, but if we've got parity now, we've always had it. Because the BCS conferences make up 21% of Division I, 21%. In the tournament, they win 70% of the games. Like, those numbers don't add up. And if you took the top 25 now, you took that one-page sheet with all the records on it, you blotted out the date, and you switched it with 25 years ago, you probably wouldn't be able to tell the difference.
So you could do worse than going chalk.
You could do worse, yeah. It could happen.
And I probably will.
I'll get the defibrillator out and wouldn't mind hooking you up.
It says here on my card, seamless transition to product placement. Tell me about these Dove products in front of you.
Well, I have partnered with Dove in the Dove Men Plus Care Real Moments campaign. And it's not only me, but Dwayne Wade of the Miami Heat, who's, you're not going to find a better guy. And he's one of the best athletes on the planet.
Unpaid plug, I actually have some of that in my shower at home.
So do I.
Yeah.
Well, let's leave it at that. But I think that's I thought you smelled particularly good today, just like I do.
For more coverage about the 2013 NCAA tournament, check out SBNation.com. His name is Jay Bilas. Go buy yourself some Dove products. We'll see you soon.
How do I apply for a job here?
Oh.
You're talking about the bottom dollar. I'll take any bottom dollar.
Really? Well, we've got some fat that we need to trim. But then you're the next man in.